with just a couple minutes before we have the opening whistle. It is time to introduce these two teams. First up in the black jerseys, the LA Derby Dolls DDX. We have 11 Skeeve Jobs, 115 Sly Fox, 1300 Shank Solo, 305 Gandalf the Cray, 3720 Hanna Barbarian, 39 Bucket, 430 Oblivion Westwood, 524 Sonia Sotomayolo, 5515 Baby V, 606 She Deviled Egg, 8008 Ruffy the Roller Slayer, 86 Alpaca Punch, 94 Gwen Lacey, 9637 Jane Woe, coached by Diana Ross, Metallicile, and Sweet Home Alabama.
And here is the Arizona Hot Shots roster for this first Arizona bout at Battle on the Bank 15. Number 12, Maximum Overdrive. Number 17, Madison. Number 1897, Impaler Swift, who I believe is serving as captain, if I heard correctly. 2187, Princess Leia. Number 22, Mimi Mahler. Number 23, Murder Mittens. Number 25, Nightmare. Number 300, Dolly Spartan. Number 4, Cherry Kiss. Number 6, Tornado Alley. Number 616, Antifa. Number 666, Strange. Number 925, Evil Twin. And number 95, Lightning the Queen. That is your Arizona roster. Your coaches for Arizona, Holly Hood, Troy McClure, Ref Boyardee. We've got your officials. Here are your RDCL officials for this bout. Your head ref, Jack Hart. Game executioner, Logic. Pack refs are Stark Raven Mad and Skolden Caulfield. Your jam refs are Plunder Woman and Tiger Bomb. Your eyes in the sky right next to us, Hawk Blocked and Dirt Reynolds. Your OPRs, Transylvania and Maraschino Jerry. Penalty tracker, Rosie the Ripper. Penalty tracker assist, Savage Patch Kid. Penalty box home, Bintong. Penalty box visitor, Crystal Ballbuster. Whiteboard, Crazy Lady. Scoreboard, the Canadian. And the alternate is Mansplainer. That official crew is made up of officials from all over the country. There are some Arizona officials on there. I know there's Los Angeles officials on there, in addition to a lot of hometown officials from up here in the Tilted Thunder League as well.
Maybe someone who wandered in from the livestock arena next door. As long as you're dressed right, I guess.
The Vendor Village is incredible. I went walking through there during halftime of the first bout, and there's a lot of things over there that I may have to check out. The smoked spice stand on Sunday and take some of that home. I was looking at the mention for that back there in the Vendor Village. Mark's Smokehouse, Refer Madness, apparently from the Derby world, it says. And it has a free samples, which I was like, well, I'm not going to go sample smoked spices right before I go to announce while I'm, next to Murray up here in the announcer booth, but I'll be checking that out later. But there's a bunch of things over there. There's a humongous selection of leather goods. Fantastic things to check out over in the Vendor Village if you're here in the arena with us.
I appreciate you wanting to blow only the right kind of hot air. It's a bad time for everything to get real quiet.
Looks like.
But it's the calm before the storm. Battle of the Titans here. Game 2, Battle on the Bank 15.
There we go. We have whistle in mouth. First rolling whistle, we are headed up to the track. Your first Arizona jammer is number 4, Cherry Kiss.
Against number 94, Gwen Lacey for DDX.
Cherry Kiss threads the needle to the low, up to the high, and is out. Arizona has first lead jam here.
Gwen Lacey caught behind a cavalcade of blockers and coming in turn 1. Cherry Kiss now in scoring contention for the Hot Shots. trading numbers with everyone in a black jersey caught up at the top apex.
Good block by Jane Woe there at the back of the pack. Was able to turn Cherry Kiss onto the infield. Gave the LA defenders a chance to wall up at the back of the pack. Slowed up that scoring pass for a while. Cherry Kiss does fight through, however, with just 18 seconds left on the jam clock.
Gwen Lacey still working on the initial pass for LA Derby Dolls. A lot of traffic coming around back to the jam line. There is Cherry Kiss breezing on by for another scoring pass.
Clock expires. I was just about to say Gwen Lacey was...
If you park next to the building, a silver Vita bug and a van with a cow on it, please move to a different spot.
See somebody leaving the stands with alacrity, so that may be one. I was going to say those cars got moved quickly earlier out of the fire lane. Greatly appreciated, even though I wasn't part of the announcing crew.
LA has a 3-on-2 blocker advantage. Number 524, Sonia Sotomayor wearing their star.
That's Dolly Spartan for Arizona, who got hit hard right off the bat. Flat on her face on the track on the front straightaway, but gets up to recover and gets out.
Great footwork there by Sonia at turn 4, escaping the pack. Both jammers now in scoring contention as the pack is off to the races.
Yeah, those LA defenders united at the front, and they're keeping moving. Dolly is watching, and Dolly has to call it off. Excellent pursuit by Sonia Sotomayor to force the call off. No points.
Since 2011, Security Gates and Access has helped homeowners, businesses, and communities throughout Western Washington protect what matters most.
Quickly back to it. That's Tornado Alley for Arizona.
And Alpaca Punch number 86 for LADD.
Alley is up at the front. That's She-Deviled Egg. And that was She-Deviled Egg and Ruffy the Roller Slayer for LA. LA's jammer quickly gets out. Alley has to call it off.
Still Hot Shots 10, DDX 0. Just under 12 minutes remaining in the first period.
Looks like we got one LA blocker in the penalty box. I like being close enough that I can read the whiteboard. My eyesight usually does not allow that at home.
Bucket versus Strange wearing the stars. The Arizona may have handed off. Nope, still has it.
No, Strange was still holding it. They're going to throw that back on now that they got out. We're able to shake past that LA blocker at the back of the pack. Trying to stay on the track was Bucket for LA, and now it's going to spin back up. Blocker must have popped off, in Bucket's opinion, and Bucket puts the star on and is going to try to force the call off from Strange and gets it.
Hot Shots get a 4-point scoring pass call off the jam, extending the lead out 14-0.
Good jammer awareness by Bucket in that last jam. It's always interesting to see a jammer come off and look around and then go. But good awareness. That is Baby V for Los Angeles. The Arizona jammer now coming around is Princess Leia, who is out and clear for Arizona already.
Princess Leia gets knocked to the inside, recycling back around. Baby V still working on the DDX initial pass.
That's Oblivion Westwood at the back of the pack. Excuse me, that is not Oblivion. Yes, it is. It's Oblivion Westwood at the back of the pack working on Princess Leia. Forces the call off with the LA jammer getting out. And it looks like two Arizona blockers in the penalty box. Big pack advantage for Los Angeles here, who's skating at full strength. That is Dolly Spartan for Arizona. And for Los Angeles, it's going to be She Deviled Egg. That is an egg jam. Egg jam for LA, and She Deviled Egg is out and clear. Dolly Spartan in the pursuit.
A lot of physicality in the pack on the back stretch. She Deviled Egg coming in hot. Calls off the jam. Putting DDX on the board with 2-3 points. Ending the goose egg. Hot Shot still up 19 to 3 points with 9 minutes remaining before we go to halftime.
Great timing on the call-off, too. Dolly was about 30 feet behind Egg, and Egg called it off, got all 3 of those, and kept Dolly from getting any. Well-timed.
3-3 in the pack this time around. Number 4, Cherry Kiss lead Jammer Hot Shots.
LA Jammers Gwen Lacey got knocked down to the infield hard, is now back up to the front of the pack and trying to get past him Taylor Swift and Mimi Mahler. Cherry splits the 2-wall at the back of the pack and gets through on a scoring pass for Arizona.
Gwen Lacey trying to squeak by the Hot Shots defense, but gets swarmed at turn number 3. Knocked to the infield, still working on the initial pass. Here is Cherry Kiss on another scoring trip. Goes down, gets back up, and through the pack.
Still 15 seconds left on the clock for Cherry Kiss to work with, coming around for a scoring pass. Gwen Lacey's going to square up to play defense. Walled up at the back of the pack. Cherry Kiss finds an opening to get through.
In the fracas, Gwen Lacey completes the initial pass for LA. But 15 unanswered points extends out the Hot Shots lead.
So this will be Evil Twin for Arizona as we're halfway through the first half, 7:30 to go.
And Sonia Sotomayor jamming for DDX, 3-3 in the pack. Evil Twin going high, caught up by Oblivion Westwood, dips down low and through the pack. That is the initial pass completed by Hot Shots.
Evil Twin taking advantage of a slightly staggered pack. Pack is now together as YOLO is going to spin to win and stay upright coming through the turn. We'll try to keep this to 1 scoring pass for Evil Twin, who gets up, reestablishes, and calls it off.
Clutch block at the end of that by Baby V, curtailing the Hot Shots single scoring pass.
I was going to say I felt probably some sort, there we are, team timeout. That, hey, we had a timeout. The first timeout of the game was not an OTO. It was actually a team timeout. Ta-da! I know there was a bunch of those in the first bout, so.
It takes a little while for everyone to get their footing.
So Los Angeles calls their first half timeout. Score at the moment, 37-3 with 6:35 to go in the first half.
So we only have one official after party happening. That's going to be Sunday after the championship game at the Route 2 Tap Room. If you're 21 and over, you can head to the beer garden now and have yourself a during party.
One of your options in the beer garden is Georgetown Brewing. Georgetown Brewing is Washington State's largest independent brewery and the maker of beloved local favorites like Manny's Pale Ale and Bodhisattva IPA. Known for brewing high-quality, community-focused craft beer, Georgetown Brewing has become a staple of the Pacific Northwest beer scene while remaining proudly independent and locally owned.
2 jammers on the track. It's like a full contingent of blockers in front of them.
So that is going to be Tornado Alley for Arizona. And it would appear to be Ruffy the Roller Slayer, I think, for Los Angeles. Yes! And we've got Bolt. No! Oh, I thought Ruffy was out. Excellent block right at the end of the pack by the Arizona blocker. That was Lightning the Queen. Tornado Alley is out for Arizona. It was on the tip of my tongue. I thought she was clear.
Tornado Alley now in scoring contention. crashes into the DDX back wall, boop, to the inside lane, has 2 to beat. Pack is extended out to the very end of the engagement zone, and Hotshots complete a scoring pass.
Wow, for want of one block, like as I mentioned, Ruffy was just about clear and is now having all sorts of trouble with the Arizona defense at the back of the pack. Allie on a scoring pass. Ruffy tries to use the distraction to her advantage and is spun off to the infield again.
Ruffy almost saw some daylight, but once again a clutch block there.
Good work in the pack by the LA blockers, keeping Tornado Alley from getting through it on a clean scoring pass there on that second attempt. So, 10 points for the Hotshots. This is Dolly Spartan for Arizona. And I hear Bucket coming from the crowd, so that must be Bucket for LA.
With that long sprinter start, almost in the midst of turn number 4. 2 Arizona blockers sitting in the penalty box, so that's not going to slow down Dolly. None. Lead jammer for the Hotshots. Coming to the backstretch, Bucket has 1 to beat. The Murder Mittens, a 1-person 4-wall out there.
Bucket gets out. Dolly wants the jammer point. Dolly is going to pick up the jammer point, and Dolly is not done and is going to try to get back to the pack. Calls out instructions for her blockers, then calls it off. LA smartly keeping themselves at the front of the pack and keeping themselves out of scoring contention on that pass for Dolly. So just the 5 for Arizona, no further.
1 DDX blocker sitting in the penalty box.
That's going to be Princess Leia for Arizona. Baby V for Los Angeles. And Leia dashes out the front of the pack along the rail. Uses the track geometry to her advantage and gets out lead jammer. Baby V is trying to scale that wall. Wow. Big block at the front of the pack by Sonia Sotomayor. Ended up on the infield as well, but absorbed a lot of momentum from Princess Leia there.
Baby
halfway
V
through this jam.
Getting a screen from Sly Fox. Pushing against the Arizona wall as Princess Leia now in for a second scoring pass. Knocked to the inside again by Sly Fox. DDX walls lined up. Princess Leia side opening on the inside lane. Got caught up, though, to the infield, crawling around back to stay in legal skating position as the jam clock expires. Arizona extends the lead out by 10 points, making it 62-3 with 2.5 minutes remaining in the first period.
This is going to be Strange for Arizona.
And number 86, Alpaca Punch, wearing the star for DDX.
Strange gets to the front of the pack, finds an opening. With those long, quick strides, Strange pulls clear of the pack, and here comes Alpaca Punch for LA. So, to keep this to 1 scoring pass for Strange.
Alpaca Punch with a great juke move to the inside, gets through a complete initial pass for DDX. Strange now in scoring contention, blasted against the rail by 37-20 Hanna-Barbarian, forcing the call off. DDX still scoreless, 3 altogether. Hotshots extend the lead out by another 3, making it 65.
It's been interesting watching LA work within the pack. Their pack defense is working so well. They're really frustrating the Arizona Jammers, kind of getting them filtered down to the infield. Working as a good unit within the pack. We have another team timeout. That's going to be an Arizona timeout using their first half timeout. So 1:27 to go in the first half. We'll take a brief break. Arizona is up at the moment 65-3.
Coming up after this game will be Sunshine City Roller Derby from Florida versus Tilted Thunder Roller Derby from Seattle, Washington.
The Sunshine City, I believe, would be their first bout ever at Battle. Has Sunshine City been to Battle before?
Not that I'm aware of.
As I understand it, and I'm sure the Twitch chat and somebody in the arena will correct me if I'm incorrect. Thank you. I hear that is true. I was going to say, there we are. So Sunshine City's first ever Battle on the Bank bout, and I am excited and honored to be here to watch it. I get to call a Sunshine City bout tomorrow with Arizona, and I said I'd call one of your bouts at Battle if you came, so you're on, Sunshine City. Deal held. So back to it, 1:27 to go until halftime. Maximum Hover Drive for Arizona.
And Gwen Lacey for DDX. DDX do have a 4-on-3 blocker advantage. Gwen Lacey getting put up against the rail by number 4 Cherry Kiss.
Max fighting through along the rail in the back straightaway and gets out for Arizona. Gwen Lacey has a fullback, bounces down onto the inside off of Cherry Kiss.
Maximum Drive now in scoring contention, goes against the rail and all the way down the infield, back in legal skating position, goes high and through. First scoring pass completed by the Hotshots.
Ooh, Gwen Lacey took the star off and turned, and her elbow ricocheted right off the top of the Lightning McQueen's helmet. That probably smarted. Yikes. And gets the star back on, though, to get out of the pack as the clock expired on the jam.
Arizona picking up 9 unanswered points, extending their lead out 74 to DDX 3. And we got time for at least one more jam here in the first half.
The Dolly Spartan for Arizona, who's jammed a few times for Arizona. And Sonia Sotomayor, who has jammed one time for LA, I believe.
Everybody colliding with everybody else at the top apex. Dolly Spartan sees some daylight on the top lane, goes through, lead jammer Hotshots.
Half clock has expired, so confirmed we are at halftime when this jam ends. Dolly will weave through the pack and gets out the front. YOLO is trying to get past that triad of Arizona blockers at the front of the pack. Strange, Nightmare, and Madison.
Dolly Spartan now in for another scoring pass, which is completed right at the jam line. Sonia Sotomayor caught behind an Arizona 2-wall. Was getting some help from Baby V, but now DDX going full defense.
And Dolly, one more scoring pass just before the clock expires.
And that's how we go to halftime. Hotshots extend their lead out over DDX by 15 points. 89-3. We're gonna have a brief intermission before game number two resumes for the second half. Second half is about to start here in game 2 of Battle on the Bank. Arizona Hotshots, the defending champion, multi-time champion.
Yeah, 2 years. 2 years defending. So Arizona here to attempt a three-peat.
They're up 89 to Los Angeles Derby Dolls DDX 3 points.
You know, it's interesting. It's interesting how Arizona has been experiencing success of late. It took a long time for Arizona to climb the mountain, but then everything is cyclical. And I hear things and I see things like Los Angeles' juniors team just beating the absolute daylights out of everybody they played this year. And so, you know, it's always interesting to see. LA was the top of the mountain for the longest time. Everything is cyclical in sports and life. We are
Ruffy
back
the Roller
to it.
Slayer wearing the star for LA.
It's Princess Sleia for Arizona, and Sleia is out and clear. Ruffy is dealing with a solid wall of Arizona blockers as Sleia slides by along the inside on a scoring pass.
Princess Sleia gets a scoring trip. Ruffy completes the initial pass. Arizona is up 4-3 in the pack.
Sleia hops over a blocker down along the coping. That was She-Deviled Egg trying to close the doors. Ruffy had gotten out for LA, so Sleia calls it off after that scoring pass.
The Johnny Slaw food truck is open right by the main entrance. Get your food there as you will. Also, we have the Stanwood concessions coming in on Sunday.
So, we have, for Arizona, Evil Twin up here along the rail, and a break in the background music.
Shank Solo wearing the star for DDX.
Shank Solo's first time jamming here in the second half. Out the front of the pack goes Evil Twin.
A lot of physicality in the pack coming around a turn 2. Shank Solo got behind a solid 2-wall as Evil Twin now in scoring contention, puts everyone in the rear view and points on the board.
Shank Solo knocked down hard to the infield. Took a moment down there to gather herself before getting back up on the track and attempting that Arizona wall again. Evil Twin for Arizona out the front of the pack. We've got 18 seconds left on the jam clock. My goodness.
Shank Solo still working on LA's initial pass. Evil Twin now on a third scoring trip in the record books.
Twin is endeavoring to get back around before the clock expires, but will not be able to do so. That should take Arizona up over the 100-point mark for a moment.
And just to reiterate, the beer garden is open for the 21 and over crowd. You don't have to drink. You can just sit in the seats over there for a better view of the jam line.
Yeah, the bleachers along the back straightaway.
Speaking of the jam line,
the Arizona jammer is Tornado Alley.
going against Baby V for DDX.
And Alley tiptoes around a blocker along the coping just inside of turn number 1 to get clear for Arizona.
Cherry Kiss all over Baby V like stink on a wrist guard. Arizona now in a scoring pass. Goes high, goes low, goes through.
Very sparse pack. There are 2 Los Angeles blockers and 1 Arizona blocker in the penalty box. And Tornado Alley is taking advantage of that to the fullest. Baby V also gets out now, so Alley calls it off.
Jam called right after Hotshots picked up the jammer lap point. So DDX still with 3 points. Hotshots get 10 more, bringing their total up to 124.
I hear an egg chant from the LA cheerleaders to our left. That means She-Deviled Egg must be on the jammer line for LA, and that'll be strange for Arizona.
Those jammers navigating a 3-3 pack. She-Deviled Egg almost saw some daylight there on the backstretch. Lead jammer DDX.
Strange now is going to race through the pack and get out for Arizona to keep this to one scoring attempt for Egg. Egg is going to try to catch the pack. Arizona blockers are united and trying to stay sped up, and Egg's going to call it off. Strange was really, really bearing down along the back straightaway.
A lot of effort, great hustle, but no points scored. One LA blocker going to be sitting in the penalty box.
We've got Bucket for Los Angeles and Princess Leia for Arizona. Leia manages to find her way quickly to the front of the pack, tiptoes past a couple of blockers and gets out for Arizona.
Bucket being swarmed by by Arizona blockers as Princess Leia gets through the pack for a first scoring pass.
Arizona's got Bucket slowed down there in the back straightaway. Leia right through finds a beautiful opening between two blockers and gets through to complete that scoring pass.
Bucket hands a hat off to Skeeve Jobs, jammer of record now for DDX. Princess Leia coming in, another scoring pass. Tiptoeing around the bottom, goes high and through, scores another time.
Leia watches the clock expire coming into the back straightaway. That is a 15-point jam for Arizona. 9 minutes to go in the second half. This will be Nightmare for Arizona. And Baby V, Vanessa Bludgeons for Los Angeles.
Lead jammer Nightmare. Baby V crawling along the pack, dips down low, completes the initial pass for DDX. Here's Nightmare now in scoring contention.
So Nightmare fights through the pack for Arizona. Calls it off with Baby V out of the pack as well. Just 4 more for Arizona. Be 8 minutes to go in the second half when this jam starts. That is Alpaca Punch for Los Angeles and Cherry Kiss for Arizona.
Three in the pack. Both jammers seen a lot of defense. Alpaca Punch blasted to the inside. And hot shots to get out. Lead jammer on the backstretch.
A great block in the pack by one of the Arizona blockers and spun Alpaca Punch down onto the infield. But gets up, she gets out, and is going to keep this to just, well, Cherry Kiss. I was going to say, Cherry Kiss hadn't called it yet, but then did. So just the one scoring pass for Arizona that time. It's interesting to see tournaments, to come to tournaments and have tournaments come to Arizona and see skaters tournament over tournament. I was mentioning, I believe, back during Chingadera, Alpaca Punch for Los Angeles, watching her skate this year after last year and watching the improvement year to year, seeing skaters get visibly better over that year-long period is a fun thing. I love coming to tournaments and seeing that. That is Dolly Spartan for Arizona.
And Gwen Lacey for DDX. He's taking down the inside, back on the track. Dolly Spartan sees the opening coming into turn 3. Lead jammer, hot shots.
Gwen Lacey is going to find an opening along the inside and get out. Had the full attention of 3 Arizona blockers, but managed to sneak past them all. So gets out and will force the call off from Dolly Spartan. 6 minutes to go in the second half. That is going to be Tornado Alley for Arizona.
Jamming against Sonia Sotomayor for DDX, who is down 2 blockers while Arizona at full strength.
Yes, indeed. And one of those blockers got 2 penalties. So late in the game here, I was going to say those can add up in a half-length bout, but we're pretty late in the going at this point. So Alley gets out for Arizona.
Sonia Sotomayor caught behind a 2-wall of Arizona. Drafting behind Tornado Alley. The number 4 that's not number 4. It's number 6 gets through, scores points.
Yeah, Yola was looking to follow Alley through the pack, and the Arizona blockers were wise to it. Alley weaves past a couple of blockers at the front of the pack again.
DDX still working on the initial pass as Tornado Alley completes a 3rd scoring trip.
Impaler Swift in the right place to bounce Alley back up on the track and kept Alley from coming off. Clock expires just as Alley hits the back of the pack. Do not know if she got any points on that scoring pass. We will find out. There's going to be a stoppage in play of some flavor. There we are. I was going to say we had no LA skaters on the track, which is usually a dead giveaway. It's going to be a team timeout, and it is. Los Angeles is going to use their second half timeout. 4:26 to go in regulation at the moment.
There is 1 Arizona blocker sitting in the penalty box.
As Murray mentioned, the beer garden is open here in the arena. We mentioned one of the denizens over there. Let's mention another. Cider Company and Two Town Cider. Born in Seattle and crafted in the Pacific Northwest, Seattle Cider Company makes bright, balanced ciders from real Washington apples. Never from concentrate, never overloaded with sugar, just clean, modern cider for beer drinkers, wine drinkers, and everybody in between. Was recently bought by Two Town Cider from Oregon that was founded on the belief that the long history of cider making demands respect and deserves to be done right. Check out both in the beer garden. As we mentioned, that is now open over there outside the back straightaway and the exit of turn number 2. We've got another stoppage in play. Give us one moment. Challenge. We've got a challenge by Arizona. Thank you, Murray. Appreciate it. All right, so Arizona is challenging. Well, we were setting up for what looked like it was going to be an LA Power Jam, so logic would dictate they're probably challenging the jammer penalty. We will get the update on what is being challenged and the results thereof momentarily.
This is a round-robin tournament, not bracketed. So every single point, every single jam matters for who goes to the championships on Sunday, right back here at the Evergreen State Fairgrounds in Monroe, Washington. We've got 9 games today, more games tomorrow. Tomorrow's main event is going to be a exposition game with lots of local powerhouses.
Yeah, I'm sticking around for that. I'm announcing this 7th bout tomorrow, and then basically there's no point in not sticking around for the expo bout at that point. So I'm gonna pull the all-dayer tomorrow. I'm going 1 to 8.
You're a trooper, Glofton. You're a trooper.
I like announcing, and I like watching roller derby, and if I can do those two things at the same time, why not?
That's the whole reason I'm up here. I get the best seats in the house for free. If you would like to volunteer with Tilted Thunder Roller Derby in the future and get into the bouts for free, see all the action, support the league, make sure to visit Tilted Thunder Roller Derby on all the various social medias for how to contact us.
We are still discussing along the back straightaway. So discussion continuing spiritedly.
As it stands now, Hot Shots 166, DDX 3, with 4 minutes 26 seconds remaining in regulation. After this game will be Tilted Thunder versus Sunshine City, as we are knee deep in day one of Battle on the Bank 15.
While this discussion continues, let's bring you another sponsor, Dimension Law Group. At Dimension Law Group, we're a boutique law firm that specializes in serving real estate investors, business owners, and families with tailored legal strategies designed to protect and grow their assets. Founded in 2013, our firm's mission is to understand their clients' unique business and personal goals. They provide comprehensive legal services in real estate, business law, and estate planning and probate, focusing on long-term relationships and practical solutions. Whether it's helping clients acquire or expand their businesses, safeguarding their investments, or planning for the future, they take a global approach to ensure their clients are protected across all facets of their lives. Dimension Law Group. A rather extended challenge discussion is continuing. At our home league, I don't usually have time for that many sponsor reads during a challenge, so I can definitely say this discussion, spirited.
Deep in debate, making sure every I is crossed and T is dotted, because it all matters for the championships, as I said before, not just bracketed wins. Looks like a decision has been made.
Well, as I said, the logical idea would be, but it was not the logical idea. It was not them challenging the jammer penalty. And that's, again, we don't know what the challenge is until they come up and tell us after the challenge. Aha, it was not going to be an LA Power Jam anyhow. It was a blocker penalty, says Murray. So there we are. We weren't setting up for a Power Jam in the first place. Arizona was challenging the points, and it is 20 points on that last jam, so the score has been adjusted 171-3.
She Devil Leg wearing the star for DDX. Almost saw some daylight, but there is the Hot Shots getting out lead jammer number 17, Madison.
Madison is approaching the pack. Egg is out for LA, so he's going to try to keep this to one scoring pass for Mads. And Mads is up to the pack. Egg is past at least one Arizona skater at the back of the pack. Mads to the front, and Mads is going to call it off. We should have some points for LA there as well. Let us verify with the officials. And we do. Points for both sides. 4 for Arizona, 2 for Los Angeles. And now I do believe we have an LA Power Jam. This is going to be a Power Jam for Los Angeles. Bucket on the jammer line for LA.
Power Jam for LA. However, Arizona does have a 4-on-3 blocker advantage.
Bucket is at the front and is now at the back. Just like that. Ground into the rail hard by Lightning McQueen. Bucket snatches the star off and is going to try to still go it on her own here.
Solid 3-wall put up by the Hot Shots. Pack is just inching along around the bottom apex there. Number 95, Lightning the Queen, throwing a shoulder, forcing a quick recycle.
They had Princess Leia at the back of the pack, still do in fact, but they were never able to get the front wall pushed far enough away that they were out of play. So Bucket now, and Bucket is visibly exhausted after that fight during that jam. Hands on hips and head down, trying to catch her breath as the jam clock expires. After 60 solid seconds of going up against the Arizona front wall, I can imagine why she is a little tired out. That is no points for either side as we move on to the next jam.
Arizona going to have another 4-3 blocker advantage. This time with 2 jammers in the back. Baby V wearing the star for DDX.
It's nightmare for Arizona, who just got clobbered at the back of the pack by a Los Angeles blocker, went down hard, but bounces up and is going to get out and be lead jammer.
Baby V has 2 to beat, getting some help there from 37-20. Hannah Barbarian as DDX completes the initial pass.
So here's Mary, and manages to sneak by Sonia Sotomayor along the inside, got past her cleanly and calls it off.
Just over a minute remains in regulations. Hot Shots 179, DDX 5.
And there's a non-zero chance that this could be the last jam of regulation. Unlikely. It feels like, well, now it's definitely not going to be because the clock has stopped. Now we definitely have 2 jams left. And that is a... Go ahead.
Official timeout being called.
This is our first OTO, and there's only a minute left in this half-length bout. That is doing pretty good on time. So, official timeout. 1:02 to go in regulation. So, as I mentioned, that definitely guarantees there will be 2 more jams in regulation before we consider penalty jams possibly.
And then coming up after that will be Tilted Thunder versus Sunshine City in Game 3 here at Battle on the Bank 15.
Yeah, worth mentioning. I'm showering all this love on Sunshine City, and it's going to be the first bout for the home team, so it's probably going to be pretty hype in here, I'm guessing. I'm looking forward to it. I wore my pink and purple striped polo that fades into orange and red, so this is as close as I had to Tilted Thunder colors. Whistle blows, and we're back to it. That is She Deviled Egg for LA and Cherry Kiss for Arizona.
2 Arizona blockers sitting in the penalty box helping She Deviled Egg get out, but Cherry Kiss just an eyelash behind.
Egg's not going to give it up. This is going to be a classic jammer race back to the pack. Cherry Kiss is going to get the advantage, put a shoulder into Egg, and is going to be lead jammer. Tries to back in their point scorer first, calling it off.
And that's one of the great things about Bank Track Roller Derby, the dynamic lead jammer change with the athleticism and the drama that you'll only get at Battle on the Bank.
And Cherry Kiss was lead jammer, but LA got the points. 3 points for Los Angeles on the pursuit. Always skate through the whistle, kids. That's what they say. Gwen Lacey for LA. And Dolly Spartan for Arizona in what will most likely be our final regulation jam.
Gwen Lacey caught up behind everyone. Gets taken to the infield. Dolly Spartan now in scoring contention. Blasts on by.
30 seconds left on the jam clock. Regulation clock has indeed expired.
Gwen Lacey escapes the pack at the bottom apex. Initial pass completed by DDX. Dolly Spartan now in for a second hot shot scoring attempt. Calls off the jam with a gale force wind.
All right, skaters back to the benches. We have reached the end of regulation. Let's see if there are any penalty jams to be considered. Once again in Bank Track Roller Derby, if the team that is ahead gets a penalty and the team that is behind skates penalty free, we will have an overtime penalty jam. That situation can repeat ad nauseum. We had a team almost win a game at Roller Rage 3 years ago, had 4 penalty jams and made up 60 points in those 4 penalty jams and almost came back to win a game, but that is it. No penalty jams to worry about here. We've had a final whistle. Okay, that has been put up on the board.
So come on down for the victory lap. We're getting high fives very shortly.
Yep, we have had our final whistle. That has made it official. Victorious, the Arizona Hotshots. As Murray mentioned, pop on down trackside. You can violate that 6-foot rule now and come on down and slap hands with your favorite skaters as they come around. Arizona begins their title defense with a victory here at Battle on the Bank 15.
And keep it going for the LA Derby Dolls, DDX.
Yeah, let's hear it for Los Angeles. Appointed themselves well throughout this bout. And they'll be heading around now as well. Be sure to visit the Vendor Village. Check out the Vendor Village. Visit the beer garden for a drink if you are over the age of 21, and make sure to check out the food truck outdoors, outside. Johnny Slaw is here all weekend. That is your food truck option for today. Check that out during this intermission between bouts. And we will be back with the coverage in just a little bit. Once these teams warm up, we've got Sunshine City in their teal fit going up against Tilted Thunder, who are in their red outfits, I see down to my right. So that's going to be a colorful bout on the track. We'll be back in a bit.